Why's that little blue boy drop jewelry? Oh, you mean the one that? Hey, everybody, welcome to this. Hey, everybody, welcome to this episode. It's your birthday, the only podcast that gets you a gift every single week, and this gift is no different. And this week, it's the last like four of these I've messed up, but I've just let it happen. And this one, I goofed again. Hey, we get you a gift every dang week, guys, and that's a lot on us. So here it is, a gift, video games.
Have you guys really hard on your dad. Yeah, not only do you get two birthdays, but two Christmases, and I feel obliged to do it, even though me and your mom are still together. I just feel like giving you two Christmases and two birthdays,
Thank you.
every week.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we celebrate our birthday every single week. Some people celebrate one every single day, and that's crazy. But here we are.
Did you know people who are like, "It's my birthday month"? Do you know anybody like that?
I mean, I did until they said that. Yeah, and then that seemed to be the end of it. I can't. Yeah. We're not celebrating Becky for an entire month. Come on, dude.
Yeah, I ran out of steam the first couple nights. I think I'm fine.
Yeah. Sarah, we don't get a whole month. Chad, dude, we're not getting it. It just doesn't make any sense. Okay?
I mean, I've never I knew people that would like joke like that, but like to take it seriously, I guess like I just don't have any friends that are like the cast of Sex and the City, or anything like that. Like,
Well, it's sad, but up until now, I've never heard anybody use it ironically, and that's a shame. That I've somehow managed to get around folks that they believe in this mantra that the whole month is theirs.
I mean, I guess it just takes a special breed of somebody to make that assumption that somebody is going to give that much of a shit for a whole month.
Jessica, did you split the atom? No? It's too bad. Then you don't get the whole month.
But it's our hubris that we're doing it every week. And
And that's what it is. Mm-hmm. Where we mansplain to you what a birthday is. And who deserves them and who doesn't. How long they should last.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Holy shit.
Well, what a stellar start. I mean, video games. That's what we're talking about here today. And that's what we were talking about every week a little bit.
There's always something going on. I'm just trying to crank my way on through Heaven's Word and get into.
Oh, you're playing Final Fantasy again.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I'm trying to jerk my way through it. Trying to
that's what
beat
it
off
feels like.
through all the levels. What's another one I can use? It's like another really cool way of saying.
You're gonna blast through all the quest givers. You're gonna you're gonna ejaculate off your mount into a combat scenario.
I'm gonna leave my seed everywhere. I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
Well,
if you play some type of healer, so I mean they probably are good at farming and shit, planting stuff.
Well,
yeah.
So
nature and whatnot.
Okay, I guess I'll get into it real quick because like I found leveling a white mage like fucking absolutely boring. Like even though you're like doing dungeons and like up to 50 at least, like I leveled pretty much with dungeons and just doing the main quest line or whatever.
Here's what I tell you about what you're saying, and because I did the whole thing up to the level cap, which is is it 90 or something? Christian, it's not until the very last expansion that you get a new spell, and it is not a new spell. It's just they take over the slot of the old spell and give it a new name, but it's the same spell. Cool. You have two of those for combat the entire time you play that game. It is, dare I say, miserable. Healing is so much fun.
Yeah.
But the other part of the game that it makes you do is atrocious.
So
I can't understand.
I want to say I got ahead of the problem.
And did the whole thing.
But
yeah, go ahead.
I got all the way to Heaven's Word as a white mage, and then I started doing Heaven's Word.
Uninstalled the game.
Okay. I started doing Heaven's Word, and I was like, well, this sucks. But then I was like, wait, I can just go level another class. This game just kind of lets you do that or whatever.
With some caveats, but yeah, it does.
So I went and did Arcanist. So now I'm running like through the campaign like Summoner, which apparently gets like stupid complicated later. And then Scholar, which Scholar is a way more involved like healer, which is way more fun. But I like got all the way to Heavensward, and then just like took 20 steps back and spent like 30 something hours or whatever, like getting through content just to get back into Heavensward, and now I'm trying to get through it again.
Yeah, well, that's because that's the big problem with it is like you can replay the story stuff, but you don't get any experience. So you can just replay talking to NPCs for several hundred hours, which I mean, we have friends that are in love with the story, and that's fine. Like they're like they think it's great, or at least have their own issues with it, but they appreciate the story.
For sure.
Now, Daddy couldn't give a fuck less, and I tried really hard, and I just couldn't care. And like it just, and I'm sure I'm doing a detriment to the game for that reason. But when you break down that part of it is just awful. So it's like even if you wanted to just get the story again, you can only just get the story again. Even though it gives you the ability to level all these classes, they want you to do it in a very like backwards ass way, I guess. And I don't know if it's backwards, but it's just a weird way of going about that if the story is so important, you should, I don't know, give it more oomph when you have to go through it again, or
the way
I don't know, because that's the fastest way to level, I guess, is what I mean, rather.
I mean, the way I've always heard it described is that like A Realm Reborn was like them releasing the game like the first time around, and it sucked, but they still had this like core story that they had to stick to, so they built around that. I will say, like, I didn't pay any attention to A Realm Reborn, but like starting Heavensward, I started like actually trying to pay attention to the story, and I will say it's actually like it's pretty engaging, and I think that was actually very surprising.
Yeah.
Because I don't ever like MMOs, like your City of Heroes, your World of Warcrafts, your thousands of other shitty stories out there for MMOs. I've just never. I know World of Warcraft is a good story. I just never cared.
I don't know if overall the story is good in Warcraft, but there's a lot of good stories in Warcraft. I think. And the books were good, but
I don't want to reduce it to that because I know some people are really invested in those stories. I've just never found MMOs to be gripping story wise.
Well, no, I think the problem with MMOs is no matter how you're doing it, you're always on a time crunch. Like either it be like your subscription model or the fact that the game doesn't really start until you finish it and then it starts. So it's like there's these two very active pulls trying to get you through the content rather than like sit and actually experience it, which is I think it's its biggest detriment really. Any MMO is like the fact that you have to pay for the time, because it does put a weird, not for everybody obviously, some people don't care, but I think generally speaking the fact that you have to pay a monthly for a thing does make you sort of like want to get through all of it that it has while you have it, I guess, or something. I don't know, maybe that's just my sickness with MMOs because I end up burning through them.
No, I get what you're saying. It's just like, yeah, I mean, regardless of like how you're paying for it or like what your investment is in it, I just never was able to pay attention. But it's got some things going on. There's like you start helping some people and you start realizing, oh, maybe these people kind of aren't on the right side of this whole conflict, and then you start learning about the other side of it, and there's some like really cool like
what conflict? I finished the game. What was the conflict? I have no idea.
So in Heavensward, you have you have in that region Karthus or whatever it's called. In that region, the Elezen and other human races like were pushing the dragons out, like forcibly, like basically committing like a big dragon genocide. And they spin it in a way that makes it seem like the dragons are like the creatures that are like invading this place. Like it has this long history of like there's been like peace in the region for like 200 years or something, and the Holy See, the people who live in like Karthus proper or whatever, they like all those like brotherhoods and whatever, they're just like, yeah, we're waging war against the dragons because they want to fuck us up. It turns out, you know who the Ashians are? It's the Kingdom Hearts ass villains, the shadow dudes with the robes that like go through portals and shit like that. Turns out the Archbishop or whatever is like in cahoots with them, but he disguises it to you. Like he admits to you, like, yeah, I'm working with the Ashians, but I plan on like betraying them. But then you see a cutscene later where it's like, oh no, this dude's just straight up working with them. Like, yeah, that at least that's where I'm at so far. I haven't beaten it yet, so things may change, but I do find that kind of thing a little gripping. And all I had to do was just not skip the cutscenes.
I have to say, you could have read me passages from a foreign Bible, and I would have made as much sense to me. I don't know what is happening. I know so little about that game that I played so much of. It's alarming.
I just had friends who were like, yeah, don't pay attention to Realm Reborn. That shit's kind of just setting it up. But Heaven's Word and Shadowbringers is like where the shit gets cool. And they were right. They were kind of right.
Well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I would play. I would like to play an MMO again sometime, but yeah, I mean you could play New World, but from what I've heard, it's destroying graphics cards based on our news.
Oh yeah. Let's bring that one up real quick. Yeah, for real. Good segue, dude. Holy shit.
Thanks, dude. Thanks, Doug.
As soon as I had to get out of there, I was like, oh.
I didn't have anything going on.
I forgot. Like I am looking forward to New World, but I always think of Secret World. Like, do you know that MMO?
Yeah, I played that one. I played most MMOs a little bit. Like at least. I mean, like Star Wars Galaxies, City Heroes. Or Champions Online.
I heard the same thing about Secret World, where like some of the stories and like the Cthulhu like weird shit was actually pretty cool.
Yeah,
but I went to play it, and I had this horrible like frame stuttering. Like I couldn't. I don't know what the fuck was up. Like I didn't feel like it was worth spending too much time on. So
the game was like the combat stuff was a little like hard to follow. Like not the combat itself, but like your skill trees and stuff. And I think also like depending upon what either class or race or thing you picked, you started somewhere different, like which happens in World of Warcraft. But in this one, it was like the story you got was different based on where you went. So if you did one of them, I remember was like, I can't remember what it was, but one of them specifically, it was like, that story sucks, don't start them. So then there was like an underabundance of like a certain class or something, or a certain type of character or whatever. And that could have been the server I was on too.
For sure, yeah.
Because sometimes that happens on those, but yeah, I don't know. It was an okay game though. Like it was interesting, but it was also, it wasn't like I don't know. It was also the time where like everybody was trying to get a bite of an MMO. So there was like that was there. There was like Hellgate London. There was like what was some other ones? There was like, I guess Rift was kind of around then, and then there was I think that one game we were talking about, Defiance, when that was happening, that was another game that kind of came out in that time frame, I think. Another MMO, sort of pseudo MMO kind of thing.
Yeah, we talked about that one not too long ago, and you were like, "Yeah, I'll try to give the sci-fi TV show its fair shake," and it just was not.
Oh yeah, no, I tried the whole experience. I tried the whole package of like playing along week by week and then doing that. But yeah, like I said, I think previously neither of them were good enough to hold you in.
Well, I don't think Defiance was blowing up like $1,500 GPUs.
No, but apparently this game is, I guess. I didn't really read this, to be honest. I just saw the thing because I was signing up for the beta, and then I was like, well, I don't know. Which is me being, reading some clickbait and going, well, I don't know.
So apparently it's like only affecting, like, I didn't know this, but I started reading a little bit more, and some people have had like GPU crashing and stuff. It's like an alpha for a game, of course. There's going to be some weird bugs
that
stuff.
I assume.
But like only owners of like 3090s and like I think 3080s in some instances are reporting like straight up bricking of their GPUs after playing the game.
Well, that's cool. I mean, at least it's Bezos. He got the money to fix them, I guess. But he's not going to. But that's Yeah, well, what? So, what? Like, do they? Is there an instance? Wow, how, or is it just like playtime, or like, do they give you?
Well, Amazon like released a statement and they said like we've observed no.
Is that what it was?
They did not. What they're saying is like it's just a few, but like if the evidence online is to be believed, there's a lot more than just a few.
Or that's people going like, yeah, mine too. You're giving out GP, yeah, mine too. Yeah, mine broke. Christian, I think it torched your 2060, didn't it? I'm pretty sure you were saying that it fucked it up.
Yeah, if Bezos can fly to the space, he can just like straight up give me a new GPU. What's the?
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
I think actually I was playing New World the other day, and I heard like a pop come out of my closet, and I was like, "Did my 1070 just blow up?" And I think it did. So I'm probably gonna need another one, I guess, Jeff.
Yeah, probably. Get one. Maybe. Hey,
Jeffrey, if you can
send another one, just in case the one you do send is bunk. Out of the box.
Oh my god! I just heard another one blow up. Maybe it's when you say the title of the game, a GPU just explodes somewhere.
Talking about New World.
What?
Stupid.
Oh my god! My PS5 just caught on fire. Send Christian one. Yeah, Jeff.
We need them all.
Send me two, because I gotta replace this one. And then Christian needs one now, because I think I just heard his blow up. Jesus, Jeff.
Fuck, if only, man. I guess while we're on this topic,
I just have an Amazon Luna controller come like a boomerang over my shoulder and break the monitor. I'm like, oh my god. It's like
holy shit.
Somebody's throwing Luna controllers like fucking ninja stars. I'm like, oh my god, I'm sorry. He's like, don't you ever say New World again. I was like, don't say what again? And then his controller blows up because it can't handle the word either.
I guess while we're talking about New World,
what if you were like, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just thinking of like an Amazon employee coming in chucking controllers at you, and I'm like, hey, can you sit down so we can have a talk? And he's like, no, I'm an Amazon employee. We can't sit. I'm like, Jesus.
we're not
Jesus,
allowed to.
Jeff.
It's like you pull up a chair and he's just like, what is this?
He's like, hold on, I'm on the clock. I'm like, do you want a bottle of water? He's like, water? What is water?
I don't know.
Like, you just delivered a case to me like a week ago, man.
Yeah, he's like just like all like thirsty and shit, and just not acknowledging it. He's just.
I feel so bad, dude. This is the thing is I'm trying to make fun of Jeff Bezos. I want to make fun of their workers. That sucks.
Yeah.
But the predicament is miserable, and it's his fault. He's going to space. It's like,
and he's thanking his employees for paying for it. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
That's what I'm saying. It's like the guy can't even give y'all a 30-minute lunch break. He's made $800 billion. And he's like, I can't even let you guys sit down and get water, but I'm going to space. It's fucking
That's right. Crazy. You can't even piss. You need to piss on the assembly line. I'm going to space, but
that's what I think he does. He's just like, oh no, the manager's here, and he just stands on one of the machines. He rides around one of their like floor robots, just steady pissing the whole time, with like 2 IVs full of water, just pumping him full. So he's just getting charged up. And God,
what a cool
and
guy.
He's sitting. He's pissing and sitting at the same time too on everybody.
Do you think he like stood on his entire flight? Like, do you think he just like perfectly stood there? Like they had to keep him propped up because his legs don't bend the other way?
I think they might have put him in like the you know how you like your luggage compartments, you just kind of open up one of those, and they just sort of slid him down about 3 of them, and he just sort of was in there. Sort of, he's like, oh, this is like my bed. And it was just like they gave him a little air coffin, and then the other ones talked about actually knowing about space and shit.
He laid like a fucking Dracula.
Yeah, he was just like, oh, wake me in the stars. And you're like, oh, okay, Jeff.
Cool.
Okay,
thanks,
dude.
Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, I guess while we're talking about that, I got an email that like Best Buy was
did he invite you?
Oh my God. Fucking website. Stop asking me about your fucking newsletters.
I know.
No, I got an email from Best Buy that was just like, hey, tomorrow, line up at 7 a.m. to get a ticket to get a 30 series GPU. And I was like, oh, you mean like line up right now?
Yeah. Like, oh, you mean this moment? Tight.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You mean just like go camp at the Best Buy? Because there's no way I'm going to show up at 7:30 and there's not 1,000 people outside waiting.
Dude, the area I live in, there's no way I'm spending 24 hours outside. Like,
no.
There's no way. There's like a Best Buy down the street. There's no way it's happening.
I mean, look, these people had like a little tent right there at least. Like some of them were kind of being smart about it, I guess.
I mean, I
read.
I think tents will protect you from knives, generally.
Yeah.
Gunshots.
Typically. Oh, I thought you were just talking about the sun. But no, you're right. Probably the
no. Also not that. Yeah,
violence.
On top of battling the Texas heat, I didn't even consider that part. I just considered
battling the Texas
some of the local flora and fauna in the area.
Fauna. Holy shit.
Whoops.
It's okay. It's just Twitch. No, one of my favorite parts about this whole thing though is just like, it's one dude like who went out and it validated my concern. Like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna have to line up real early, because he's talking about like, here I am alongside more than 80 other people. Line of customers wraps around 2 corners of the building, and you know how big a Best Buy can be. And then the one part that he's talking about is, where is it? He's talking to a guy. That's when I met James Hurst, a research scientist who's first in line. He came early in the hopes of securing a 3080 Founders. Good luck, bud. For a friend who was in desperate need of the GPU. It's causing him a lot of grief and stress because he doesn't want to pay scalper prices. That was one of my favorite lines of the
Did you write this? Is somebody lining up for you?
No, but I just like this idea of this guy just like screaming at his computer in anguish that he can't get a graphics card.
I get it because it is like like I don't think this should necessarily be a news report, but like and it definitely, I mean, it's a little overzealous for him to be like he's losing sleep over this, but
like people are dying and the world
yeah. He's like the Texas water supply was at a standstill until he could get his GPU, but like there was so they weren't hooking the power grid back up until this boy gets a fucking 2070.
That's right.
But yeah, it was what was I gonna say? It's like, but the scalping stuff, yeah, it's like it is kind of infuriating because you're like, I saw a guy down the street that has 9 of these, and he wants so much money.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Where it's like I think it's just that he's like, I just send my. Well, this is a unique situation because this guy's royalty, I guess, because he's like, I had to send my friend out to sit there for 25 hours to get me a GPU. Right. I don't know what throne he's on, but either way, it's like this thing of like, the fact that you have to go through that extreme measure just to get a thing that, one, came out like months ago, and that, two, there's just people that somehow just keep getting. It's weird that if you were able to get a hold of one, you can get a hold of like 30. If you can't find one, you can't get one. It's really strange.
Well, and the thing is that like ever since they came out, like these companies are like trying to crack down on like bots and stuff. But I don't think that any of that has been like necessarily successful, because you still see those posts where it's like, I got 12 of them. It's like, okay, cool, dude.
And it's crazy that it's coming from like computer companies too, and you're like, you guys can't figure out bots at all. You guys make the component. Not that it's not different between hardware and software, but it's like you guys do make the components that these people are using to then create these machines or something. Like you have to know more than most about this, and you guys still are like, I don't know, can't do anything about it. I guess they just keep flying off the shelf. I don't know.
Yeah,
we're trying to stop them giving us money. We can't do it though.
I don't know. That's the thing I appreciated about the whole like Steam Deck thing, right? Is that like with the Steam Deck, I was like able to place a $5 thing on it. They're openly saying like, hey, you know, depending on the model you got, like, we don't know when you're going to get yours, but you're guaranteed to get one. I would have much rather had a system like that in place. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
Hindsight, I guess. But like, yeah, if NVIDIA was like, hey, drop $50 right now, like we're 4 months out from the launch of this GPU, drop $50 right now, guarantee one. Because the other thing Valve admits is that like that $5 is going to go toward like bolstering the production of these things. Like it's going to go toward like jump starting a lot of the process. Because I'm sure there's a lot of overhead costs of like research and development and shipping and the supply chain and
and I think also if you don't get it, they just give you $5 in Steam credit, which is, you'll use it. So it's so it's like whatever. But yeah, no, because I think it was the same thing with the index. It was like you put your thing in, they go, all right, here's when you're getting more, and here's when you're getting one. It's gonna be within this time frame, so get ready for that or whatever. But yeah, any of these companies could, and they could have done like even a thing to where it's like you've already this. Even if it was like as simple as an email, I think it needs to be more than that. But you could be like say they, put in an infrastructure that's like if you get more sent to this address or whatever, then it's 1 per address, 2 per address, whatever. And then if you've already gotten one, you go in the end of the queue. So you got to wait for everybody else. Just like a fair way of going like, you already got one.
Yeah.
Let's get the next guy in. And then if you want another one after that, well, then you get back in. Like, it's just...
That's the other thing is that, like, they could have had, like, some avenue where it's like, oh, you have an NVIDIA card, you're a loyal customer or whatever, we're going to offer you the first line. Like, that was kind of what Valve did, right? It was like, you have a Steam account that was made before June, you've made a couple purchases, you're going to be the first wave of people available to buy this thing.
Yeah.
And then a couple days later, they opened it up to everybody.
Yeah, and even still, they're like the time frame changed as that happened. They're like, all right, these ones you'll get these in Q3 of next year. This one will be Q4. Like they still were even like, hey, here's a pretty, and obviously we'll see if that actually holds up. But the idea being that like here's a pretty good idea of when we think yours will show up, but you will have it. So it's like,
yeah,
I don't know. And again, it's a thing where like. Yeah, just I don't know, just the way that that they handled it is really. I mean, it's good. It's better than anybody else did. Like, and
for sure.
So,
and then this story was coming up. Like, people were trying to scalp them on eBay, but eBay's like out there banning people. And I read this like, okay, that's cool, but also they have a pre-sale policy. Like, where the hell was this when the PlayStation and Xbox were launching? Like,
yeah, or amiibos. They do it for that all the time. I see it all the time. Where they'll be like, "Oh, I've got my amiibo pre-ordered or whatever," or my and then they'll have it's like for everything that you can pre-order. It's the same shit.
Well, okay. What is the policy? Pre-sale listings must guarantee that the item will be shipped within 30 days. So I guess if like you're coming up on a release date, you can post these. It's still fucking scummy, dude.
Come on, dude. Yeah, come on.
Yeah. Just like fuck it. Dude, there really has to be like some kind of but anyway, eBay's kicking out like people who are doing Steam Deck stuff because they're like months away. But I'm sure when it's a month away, we're going to start seeing the listings again.
You definitely will. Yeah. There's no way you won't.
Yeah, but what a fucking stupid policy. They should just like because one other thing is that like pre-order stuff, things fall through all the time, even like down to the wire. Like there's like you think of like what I can't remember, but and I don't think it was Cyberpunk, but it was another game. It was like supposed to release like within like 30 days or something, and they were like, "Oh, we're pushing it back like 2 months." And it's like, what do you do then? Like, I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just think it's just a bit. It's a bit ridiculous, and they need to have better stuff set in place to deal with these. And again, like I said, like I mean, they do. So that's the other thing is like it's achievable. Now, granted, Steam has like a bit of a leg up just because they have everybody's account thing. But you look at the other things too; it's the same thing. It's like you got the PlayStation Network, you got Xbox Game Pass, whatever. I don't know what they call their accounts because I guess it's not Xbox Live anymore. It doesn't matter. Either way, they all have your username somewhere and your purchase history of some kind. So it's like, even if it was like you had to be subscribed for like 6 months or whatever the fuck it is, that could have been easily the thing they do. The Amiibo thing, I don't know how you would combat that, I guess, necessarily, because it's like it's a weirdly different thing because it's like a toy kind of that comes alongside. It's not the same as a system or whatever.
I don't know. You got like car manufacturers out there talking like the supply chain stuff should be wrapped up before like the holidays at least.
Yeah, you would hope. I think actually I saw pre-orders for OLED Switches, which I don't even think you can pre-order yet.
So that's the thing. The Steam Deck went out the pre-order started the same day. Like they announced this.
Oh, did they?
They announced the Steam Deck the same day Switch OLED pre-orders went live. And so, like, the news cycle was just, like, full force Steam Deck shit.
Yeah. No, that's some heat, though.
It felt a little weird. It felt a little like we're putting the ball in your court, but I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the thing is Nintendo never has direct competition. So it's, like, kind of nice to see somebody go, hey, wake up, dude. Like, make a better thing. Everybody wants it, and you're like, if you're not going to do it, we'll go ahead and do it. But in a way, they gave them the chance. They're like, all right, Nintendo's going to announce this thing. Here's, we'll wait for it. And then, okay, that wasn't it. So here we go. And that was sort of unanimous with the OLED was just everyone's like, what the fuck is this thing? Like,
I do think that Nintendo is still going to have its path, like its thing. Like you're
absolutely,
still going to have
but I wish they would.
Yeah.
Just, like, I get that they might not be the same company if they don't do the things they do the way they do them, but some stuff you really have to go, are you sure you're doing it this way? Like, we really can't get Bluetooth support in this thing. You can't give me Bluetooth headphones.
No, because that's somehow going to endanger your children. So that's somehow going to screw the children up.
I know, yeah, that's what. It's always under the guise of it's like, well, we're saving the kids, and it's like they're not airdropping dick photos to me. I'm just listening to headphones. Like I don't understand.
I want to hear all the wahoos and bing bings and yeehaws in my headphones. What the hell?
It's like I was thinking because I've been because like Jack has to get up before I do, my partner gets to sleep before I do, so I like stay up later. And so I don't really want the TV speaker. So I was like, with the PlayStation, I'm like, oh, yeah, just put headphones on and it just is fine. With the Switch, I'm like, I guess I just don't hear this game. Like, I guess this game just doesn't have sound. And so I was like playing, Hyrule's Remaster or whatever, Skyward Sword or whatever. And everyone's like, oh, it's got the best music. I'm like, I guess I just won't know, will I? Because thank you, Nintendo. Like, I know it's a unique scenario, but it's really not. And especially for something that you hold in your hand, like at a coffee shop or an airport or whatever, and I get it. There's a headphone jack, which should still be there. That's not the same thing, but it's like, come on, dog. Toasters have Bluetooth headphone support at this point. My fridge can text me. Like, get them in there. What are we doing?
I agree. And dude, you can mod Bluetooth. You can put a Bluetooth chip into a GBA. Like that shit's like. Easy.
It's not a huge ask. It's really just
you can buy a Bluetooth. Hold on, let me confirm this. Hold on. Bluetooth mod GBA chip. I think they're like $10.
I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, it's not an expensive little dongle to put in. It's just that it's just that thing, that omission of like, goddamn Nintendo! Like, better than this. Like you have to have heard people. And then you go back to, and this is old by now because it happened like 2 weeks ago. But you look at the same thing and you go, here's your chance to redesign the controller a little bit. Here's your chance to do, just do anything other than give us another one. And again, if it's all just to push an Ethernet port, guys, you could have figured that out. You could have done something a little different. Like,
could have done it before I bought like 2 docks and like 2 Ethernet adapters. You could have done it before.
Well, that's the thing is the adapter is super cheap, and it's like not a hard thing to do.
Go to your local Radio Shack. They got them for like $6. Like, go to your.
I mean, I get it because they stand to make more money potentially by making this than they do just making a dongle, but it is that thing of like, you could have just branded your own. You could have made it $30, which is too much for what that is, but you could have called it Nintendo's own, and then you go, well, I'll get the Nintendo one and pay the $30 or whatever the fuck. But it's still,
yeah.
Because I assume
Matt
that dog.
Thanks for the follow, by the way. Sorry, I just noticed that. Hi.
Yes, thank you, sir. Or ma'am, or whoever. Thank you, person.
Yeah.
But yeah, they could. Yeah, they could. There's plenty of options, and I mean, I guess if they're just selling the dock too, I wonder if it's gonna be $80 again for some plastic with some ports in it. But I don't know.
I don't know. They're gonna be in their lane. Valve's in theirs. The thing I'm most excited about with this whole thing is that, like, I was listening to, I think it was the Bombcast, and they were kind of talking about this. where like, yeah, these like handheld PCs have kind of been like in the space, but they've always been like these weird devices that like are a little niche, a little expensive.
Well,
and this
genuinely,
feels like
they're usually an emulator.
Big push.
Like for the most part, they're like a glorified emulator. Like you're playing some AAA, but you're not really doing it. And even this is not like, this is still like, there's stages to it. I think like this is still not going to be like, that ultimate handheld experience, but I think it'll be the best that we've seen
for sure. I mean, this is like apparently the GPD Win 3 is like the best of these so far.
Yeah.
But you look at like the prices of these things, it's like $1,000 right there.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was saying on Reddit is I think like there's not an outside of probably Microsoft, and even with them, like they're set up in a way that like if they make a thing like this, it would still be an Xbox. Like it would have to be branded by Xbox, because otherwise it's like, I mean, they could do it, and I feel like if the Steam one goes well, they probably will do it or something like it. But it's that thing of like, they're the only, like Microsoft is kind of the only other company in a position that could even try to do it. And you're still probably not going to get a computer when they do it. And we've also seen with the exception of probably the Surface, because I think that does pretty well. But like you look at their phones and other tablets and other stuff they've done, not great experiences. So I have to imagine. Not that they probably haven't learned, but you would think if they make one, it's, again,
I knew a guy.
Think it would,
I knew a guy who like held on to the final like breath of the Windows Phone, like up until like 4 years ago or something. Like he swore by the Windows Phone, but
it
like
sucked. I had one; it was awful. But I'm sure, he figured it out. He cracked the Da Vinci Code on what makes those phones good.
I mean, him trying to explain what made it good to me was like, dude, I could do everything you're talking about right now. And like, I didn't even have a very good phone at the time. I was just like, everything.
I was like, you mean just like an Android phone, but like with less options? Is that what you're telling me? Is what this is? Because that's kind of what it felt like. Yeah. I got one because it was like we had a free upgrade or whatever, and that just happened to be the one that was there. And I was like, I don't know, 16 or 17. I was like, sick, it's got a touch screen. And then I used it, and I was like, "This is bad. This is a bad phone." Yeah, and I switched to like a Samsung, like a Galaxy or something after that, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is way better. I get it."
Yeah.
Or maybe it was vice. I can't remember. I had it in between something, but either way. But yeah, what I was saying, like, their Steam, I think, is the only company put in a position like this to where they could pull this off, and like, especially it being integrated with Steam, which is still like the major PC gaming platform or a storefront or whatever, and the benefit being, and granted there's like some caveat to that because they were kind of mentioning like with the way that it's a Linux based something like that I think Atom or Proton or something like that is the name of it.
Proton, yeah, it's like their layer of compatibility for Windows stuff.
And so that may not be 100%, but the thing is like, you ain't gotta buy no games, dog. You already got the games. Like that's the biggest thing is it's like, that whole library of stuff you already like, you got it already, and you can just go somewhere else. It's not like if I get the Switch one, is my save gonna work? If I get which is honestly just a weird area that we're in as a whole. Which for people that start out on PC, this is like a godsend. For people that are just getting into PC, it may not be as like exciting.
Yeah, for sure.
But you are,
dude. So Death's Door came. Death's Door came out, right? Yeah. And it used to be battling between, like, do I want to pick this up on the Switch? Do I want to pick this up on PC? Right?
Yeah, there's no question anymore, and that's unfortunate for them. That's what I mean. Is like that's Nintendo's like. In some ways, that's like their, and it's not going to be 100% because obviously millions of people have Switches already, so it's not going to change things like drastically. I don't think, but it is that idea of like maybe indie developers don't go so fast to the Switch because they might not have to. Like they might pull back a little bit farther than they, because they're already not like the Switch updates usually come out last. Like if you have a game that is like not necessarily finished or not early access, but not, well, games are in this weird spot where everything's kind of not done, but everybody knows that. But it's like there's like early access, then there's done, but sort of is in early access with the way that the year-long updates are going. Then there's, there's season pass, there's every whatever. But almost always, if it's not like a major release, the Switch gets those at the very end. And generally speaking, the PC gets them at the beginning because there's testing everything on a PC anyway, so they might as well put it there. And they don't have, you know, all the QT certs and all that shit that they've got to do, like to, you know, the quality control things or whatever, or the, like Nintendo I know has like a certain thing, and I think a lot of them do, but I know Nintendo specifically is pretty stringent of like, you can't, the update's got to be this size only. It can only go to this. It can only be pushed at this time, whatever. You can't update X amount of times in X amount of days or something like that.
Yeah, all those barriers are gone with something like the Steam Deck. It's all it's all controlled through Steam.
That's it.
Yeah, and like the other thing is that like a product of the Steam Deck is making Steam proper better because they're replacing the big picture mode, which has been, you know, serviceable. It's been fine, but it's little to no like major improvements. They did announce that like at some point in the future they will replace big picture mode with the Steam Deck OS. By the way, hello Christy and hello Stinky. I know who that is. I just don't know if he wants me to say his name
hello both of
time.
You guys. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know this. Man, we really went on a tangent because we were talking about fucking GPUs exploding, and then it just ended up. The Switch Pro is a letdown again.
About that? So we started talking about how they're getting scalped to hell and back. And
right, that's how this began. That's right.
And so going into Steam Deck is that like, I know I'm gonna get that thing. Like it's not this terrible like feeling of like, am I gonna ever walk into a store and see one of these things on the shelf? Because that's kind of how it feels, right? I went to a Micro Center, or the Micro Center next to us. I went there to like just see what was going on. I think I was there to pick up something else. I was like, you know what? Let me just walk the graphics cards real quick. I don't even think they had like 1660s. I don't even think they had like
no, they haven't. It's been dry for months.
$80 like shit GPUs. I don't think they had anything. No.
I've seen like last time I was in there was a guy buying a 1070 Ti, and that was like the only thing I saw in the cage. So and that was after looking, you know, on the shelf itself. But I would think if there's and maybe that's another big part of this is like the fact that they're sending them out through them. So there's not like, which I guess all the companies are, but there's not like storefronts they're talking to. Maybe, honestly, if there was a store, probably Micro Center or maybe Best Buy would be where these would show up. Otherwise, maybe Best Buy. But I would think, because Micro Center has like the Pimax 8K VR headsets or whatever. They get the weird stuff that's like, still somebody in PC would probably want to see, but isn't gonna fly off anywhere. So maybe they'll get them. But maybe that's just a thing they're not having to deal with because it's like, well, we control who gets these because we're sending them all out. So maybe that's the benefit of that to some extent. But
yeah, I'm done worrying about it. Like the 2060 Super, I'm pushing it to its limits with this monitor I have, and I understand that.
Yeah.
But at this point, like, I'm willing to take the sacrifice, maybe a couple frames, maybe turn the games down a little bit, just to not have to fucking worry about it.
Maybe just turn them off.
Yeah, just go find God. Just sell your computer and play on Stadia. Go find God.
Get that body of C. Get that wine boy. Just bask in his light instead of this. Sin.
Bask in his light.
Sin.
That's right. Yeah. And stream Rayman Legends on Ubisoft Plus or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, get Amazon Luna.
Find God in a streaming service. I will also say
I found God in this Stadia tonight.
So
yeah.
Another thing that happened is that like you can now do Game Pass streaming through your browser. So if you're a Game Pass Ultimate subscriber, you can go to xbox.com/play. And you can do like the xCloud stuff straight from a browser, which is really cool.
That's cool.
And it seems to work pretty decently. I'll say like I've tried all these streaming services except for Luna so far, and the one I've actually had
the same. I mean, having played it, it's about the same.
Okay. You have played Luna, because you were the test or whatever it was.
Yeah. So I got that one, and then I played Stadia that same week because they had that like free whatever because they were I think because it coincided with the Luna beta deal, so they're like, well, we got to get people on Stadia if they're already interested, and I was like, I don't really want either of these, but I want to see what they look like.
So I think Microsoft and Nvidia need to talk because, like, the only streaming service that I've really had the most success with
the color green,
right?
And that's what I'm saying is like
that's the whole thing.
Just bring Monster Energy, bring it all together and make one. Just make an empty Monster can that streams video games and has a fan on it or something.
Corporate triangle synergy,
corporate
like that.
Suckets.
That's
Dallas Diamond Dallas Page. Just they should get him as their spokesperson too.
That's right.
I don't know what I'm sorry. I just interrupted for fucking no reason.
Oh, so it's all good. No, I was saying because like the only streaming service I've had any success with is GeForce Now. Like
sure. Okay. Yeah.
One, I admit my internet connection is not great. It's like 1010. I think it's like the only thing I can get in this building. It's atrocious. Well, compared to what I've had, it's not the worst in the world. So I'm not gonna like stand over a dude in Bolivia and tell him my internet sucks. Because
I mean, you kind of are. But that's fine. Keep going. It's tough. I know.
It's like in Bolivia. It could be way better than what we have. In fact,
everybody's got free gigabit over there. Yeah,
they're all fibered up and
and he's like, fucking peasant.
Exactly. No, so like I think Nvidia and Xbox need to talk. One about how they both have the color green, but also two, whatever Nvidia's doing with their streaming stuff, it's not working on the Game Pass end the way I would think. The Game Pass, when I use it, I constantly get like warnings about network, and a couple frames drop here and there. Nvidia, like, it does this initial test and says, yeah, it may not be like optimal for streaming, but I can stream just fine, like just 1080p streaming, no problem. Like I haven't on my phone, on my computer, whatever through GeForce Experience.
I wonder.
It's like I don't know.
I wonder if it's just like. And I don't know that this would have an effect, but I wonder if it is just like server load in general, because I have to assume the NVIDIA ones are way less busy than Game Passes would be. But I don't know.
So the NVIDIA one is like your games, right?
Right.
It's like your Steam library. I think they added Epic functionality to it, like some Epic games.
You're not
through the NVIDIA thing.
You're not running these natively, though, right? Like you're not running them on your home machine and then streaming it. Okay.
No, it's just straight from their servers. And so, like, I pay the $5 a month. Like, I think the pricing went up for GeForce Now, but I paid, like, an initial month, and then, like, that month they were like, hey, we're raising the price, but if you're currently subscribed, you get this, like, Founders level. And the Founders level comes with other perks and benefits, which is cool.
Well, thanks for telling people.
This is like $5, dude. This happened a while ago. I don't even.
It
know
is just like $5
if
you're you. If you're me, it's whatever the real price is. You know what?
I actually don't know what it is right now. I have no idea.
Oh man, to live on that castle. Well, check this out, dog. You ain't getting no more free Humble games, dog. I've already got all of them. Yep.
What?
That's too bad, dog.
How am I gonna complete my Yakuza collection? Because they release one every month, dude. How are you gonna do it?
Well, I don't know, dude. Maybe a little bit of thing called hindsight, bitch. Maybe a little foresight, even. Come on, dude.
Wow.
I guess you're gonna never know what happens to fucking Kiryu, dog. I guess
I never will now.
It's just too damn bad.
Fuck it. Oh, that's the other weird thing. I started playing Yakuza 0 on the like phone Game Pass thing. And I got like decently far into it. Like it worked pretty well on my phone. So I was like, maybe I'll play this streaming and see how it's like. And I went to go like play the local copy that I have installed, and the save didn't sync. So I was like,
oh.
But I went back to the phone, and it was like, here's your save.
Oh, actually, I just had something like a snafu like that. I mean, that's really weird. I don't know why it wouldn't have that, because it's like part of the service, I guess, but maybe it's up to individual game if they have that or not. And I guess it would be to some extent. Okay, so like for example, I was playing remastered Spider-Man, right, on the PS4 or PS5, and like the I was like all the way but like 3 missions with that game. I was like just about finished it, like on the base PS4 when I had one like several years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was trying to get that save back, but the only way that you can do that is you have to download both games completely, and then even if through PlayStation Plus or whatever, your save is in the cloud. It doesn't count. You have to like download all of Spider-Man, which is like 100 and some gigs or like 80, 90 gigs or something. Then hit R1 to upload the save. It takes like 8 seconds. And then you get out of there, and then you have to download the entire new game and then load it up and hit R1 so it brings the save in. It's really strange because it's subverting all of the systems that you pay for, like all of the cloud saving and all that. Doesn't account for any of that. You have to like again fully download. So it's basically like I have to download 200 gigs of the game twice to then play the game once.
Listen, that's just really cool. That's just a really cool thing they make you do.
It's a really strange thing, but I mean, it works.
Fun.
It was. That was a really good game. Actually, that's my second platinum I've gotten on the PlayStation platform.
Oh, you're talking about not just Miles Morales, but the whole.
No, I haven't played Miles Morales yet. I finished the remaster because I hadn't finished the base Spider-Man game yet. But that
Spider-Man game was damn good. It wasn't my favorite that came out that year, but it definitely was really good.
Yeah, they did interesting stuff with like because the boss fights never really felt like a boss fight, which was interesting. Like you were fighting like Rhino or Condor or whatever his name is.
I do like when you fight like Electro. Like that one was pretty cool.
Yeah, but you're fighting like two bosses at the same time, but nobody really has like a health bar. Like you're not, I don't know, you're not fighting them necessarily. You're like waiting to dodge a thing to throw it back to then punch him a few times and do this. But I don't know, none of them felt like boss fights to me. Like even Octavius at the end wasn't really like.
Yeah, it was just a spectacle at that point. Like the real like the street fights and the missions that you were doing. That's where like the actual combat happened, but. Yeah, I just saw like the big boss stuff like as a big spectacle, honestly.
It was. It was like the crescendo to the buildup of stuff that was happening on the ground level, which I thought was cool. But I will say it was neat that like all of your abilities worked on the boss. It was like, yeah, you can shoot webs at this guy. He's just a dude also. I don't know. That game was cool. Like I'm excited to play Miles Morales because I remember really liking it when I played that game originally, and now actually finishing it, it's a really good game. And that's 2018's Spider-Man, so that was a while ago.
Yeah, I guess they're gonna just make a new one of those. They have to, right? Like it was
a new Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I assume so. Well, I don't know because I don't know how Miles wraps up because I haven't played it, and I know it's only like 15 hours. But the base Spider-Man game leads into Miles. Like part of the end mission thing that happens is Spider-Man, or he gets bit by a spider that like hung out on Mary Jane for like 3 weeks. And then bites him, and then he becomes, or him and Tobey Maguire kiss in the bedroom. And that's how he gets his spider powers.
Oh,
no, there's like this end scene where like it is like it's like a cute scene in general just for the setup of it. But he like takes Peter he's like helping Peter move into an apartment. He's like, Peter, I gotta talk to you, dog. And he's like, what is it? And he's like, maybe I should just show you. And then he just like throws himself on the ceiling, and he's like, well. Maybe I should just show you. And then he also does it. And so they're both upside down on the ceiling.
Yeah. They smooch.
They just kiss, and then they give each other both their superpowers. It was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool. No, it was really nice. Like it was a nice sentiment. That game has a pretty good story to it overall.
Yeah,
even with them changing the character model, he was good in the original game. He was fine in this one. I do think I like the original a little bit better, but it wasn't enough to distract me because the faces in that game look really, really nice. Like, really nice.
Kelly?
Yeah.
As our resident EA fan, tell me what the fuck happened at EA Play Live. This will be the last thing I think we talk about.
Yeah, they challenged everything. And it was in the game. And there were, I mean, it was big. So they, but no, they had like, I don't know, John Cena was there, Chris Tucker did some stuff,
Kanye
Riley
West
Reid,
George Bush didn't like black people. Yeah.
No, it was like, they did have like a lot of, like not a lot of celebrities, but I can't never think of his name, but that wrestling guy that's like in a lot of video game related stuff. He's like a part of a 3-person group. I think I
know who
New
you're
Day,
talking about. Xavier Woods?
Xavier Woods, yes.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's him. Yeah. But he was like the host. He did a really good job. I mean, like for what they're having him do. He's a likable character. So yeah, they. I mean, they didn't. It wasn't a whole lot. Like I was saying, there's a new Sims expansion featuring Japanese Breakfast, which is a band I really like. But it's weird that that's like I don't know what it means to their expansion because it's not an expansion based on them. I don't think it was like pets or farms or something.
Yeah, a band I like, Big Data. They had I think in The Sims 4, the original one of the first expansions. They had a couple songs that they did in Simlish.
So they do sing all the songs in gibberish.
Yes. They had Katy Perry come in and record some Katy Perry songs in Simlish. It was super funny.
That's really flattering, though, to be considered for that. I think to have the Sims go, "Do you want to sing a song in gibberish to us?" And I would love to.
And listening to them side by side is hilarious.
But yeah, so they did that. There's a really cool looking map coming to Knockout City that I was telling you about earlier, but it's basically like a movie set that changes as you play it. So there's it'll change the geometry basically of the environment, but it'll be based on like a castle. It's based on movies or whatever, so it'll be a castle or pyramid or some other stuff. Yeah, see if you can skip maybe halfway through this because it's sort of showing a little bit of it here, but it towards the end it starts to actually show the actual mechanic or what's happening, you know.
Okay, I got you.
But yeah, it seems pretty neat. Because I like that game quite a bit. So it's I wonder if I think it's So it'll be the map just shifts, which is cool. As you're doing it to a completely new stage and theme. It seems like there's a new ball type, which is like a can of soda. I don't know exactly what it does, but it seems like it throws out a mist.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. Seems neat.
I do want to get back in there because we were fucking it up for a minute. We were doing
we were having a pretty good time. Yeah,
we were doing pretty good.
Maybe I wonder how the ceiling is at now. But I would like to revisit it because I did really like that game. But yeah, so they talked about that. There's a new battle pass, whatever. Apex. I guess. Actually, Grid Legends was how they started. Because I forgot to say they bought Codemasters. EA did, so this is the last Codemasters game we're gonna get, which is gonna be another Grid game. This one though, it does seem really interesting because they have all real. I thought initially these were race car drivers, knowing so little about racing, you know. But no, these are all actors that are in the Grid Championship. So their story mode is apparently very focused in this one. Because they have all real actors. They're using the same technology that The Mandalorian uses with the background changing and whatnot, where it's a big dome screen and all whatever you want is happening. The villain or this guy, it seems really cool. I was kind of whatever about Grid because I like Grid, but it's not my favorite racing game by any means. But I was enthralled by the video of these people talking a bit because that guy specifically with the longer hair, they're he's it's my 4th Grid Championship, soon to be 5th, as you obviously know. He's just a super dickhead, and you're I don't like this guy, but I want to see what he's about. It was this. So yeah, he's this cocky douche, and then it gets into this thing of actual dramatic fights between drivers or what. I don't know. It seems like they're trying to make a sitcom into a racing game, which I'm kind of cool with. Because
I don't think any game has really ever I think Control might be the only one that has been able to merge real world footage and a game, because they tried it with Quantum Break, right? But that didn't necessarily work. Because it was supposed to have a whole
again another one.
Yeah. So I like the concept of doing that. I just don't think that anybody's really nailed it. So if they can find that, then yeah, sure. Why not?
Well, I think you're forgetting about Brutal Legends, where they had Drac Black in a record store, and he picked up that CD and then became the Overlord or whatever it was he did in that game. I think you just were Overlord to groupies or something.
Would you hate me if I told you I'd never played Brutal Legend?
That's stupid. Especially if you like Double Fine games. That's dumb.
Okay. I just never really...
Stacking has some merit to it, too. It's a little weird, but it's got some merit there. Yeah, you should play Brutal Legends. It's worth seeing. It's an interesting game. I mean, it's basically Overlord or Pikmin, but you have, rock and roll buttholes that follow you.
Yeah. I kind of,
and it's like an open world.
From what I understand, at one point it becomes like a RTS or like a
kind of
game or something. Yeah.
It's a weird one, but it's worth. Again, Double Fine stuff is usually worth seeing, even if it's not the best. Yeah.
What's
so
the
then Apex.
Nonsense?
I guess.
Hey,
I guess there's.
We still exist.
Well, they.
I
guess they're showing you, if this trailer is to surmise anything about the game, is that the new characters had a hard life, and he is the best DLC character you can buy because he just kills everybody, whatever it is that he's doing here. So he's the best character. He's overpowered already. They're telling you straight up right here that he's overpowered. So just so you know, you can't have anybody complaining. They're laying it out right here. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They said this next episode is called Emergence, but I think it may be like it. I didn't watch a lot of it because I don't really care about Apex, to be honest. Like, it's not really a game I have any. I really like Titanfall a lot, but Apex doesn't do it for me. So like I've only followed it loosely, so I don't really know. But it seems like they're working on something that is more single player or co-op style instead of battle royale, is sort of how they mentioned it. And I would see that because I just don't care about battle royales all that much.
Well, yeah, because they did kind of this pseudo like co-op like PvE thing, but you had to play the battle royale to get to it. So like when our buddy Larry was telling me about it, like he was like, "Oh, you can do this like cool ass thing," and him and his brother were playing it pretty vigorously at the time. I was just like, we were starting to do it, and like we just kept not like getting the requirement to do it, and it was just like, just let me play the fucking thing, like.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Like, Apex seems like a cool world because it is the Titanfall world allegedly, and I think Respawn does have some good like chops as far as like writing a cool story and also like set pieces and stuff. And Apex feels like a cool platform for that. I just don't give a fuck about Battle Royale. Like, I just can't find myself to care about it.
Yeah, no, and then this video looked cool, but to me, I was like, are you guys setting up a MOBA? Like, is this what's going on? Because the art style is like a weirdly different, and like the characters are doing stuff you definitely can't do in the game, which is how you always think, like, oh, maybe it's a MOBA because all these are just one move that they do. But I don't know. It seems, like I said, if they were doing something that's strictly co-op or like a single player or something, I would totally see it because I don't hate the game. I just don't. Again, Battle Royales just, I don't know. They're aggravating if you don't play them all day, every day, and I don't. So when I get in one, I'm just like, this is just not fun. I don't know the game enough to get in there. Except for like Fortnite, I can pick it up every now and again. But it's the same thing with like Guild Wars 2 or whatever. It's like, I want to play an MMO for 20 minutes. All right, I don't want to play an MMO anymore. And I didn't subscribe to Warcraft or Final Fantasy. And I didn't do this other thing. Though I was thinking about playing Final Fantasy on the PS5, but I don't think it has cross account, which is annoying. But I was considering it.
So it does, but you have to buy the expansions on both consoles.
Great.
Like you have to, yeah. So not.
Oh, that's the same. Actually, that was what was happening with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's like I played it on there, and it was like my save was there, but like it's like, oh, you don't want any of the DLC. I'm like, I do, but I get it. You're gonna be a dick about it.
Yeah. And then I guess the last big thing was Dead Space, huh? Or we didn't get to the Battlefield.
Battlefield had some cool stuff. Yeah, I mean, Battlefield is looking good. It's cool that we're going back to some kind of more modern or future tech things. I mean, I think everybody's getting tired of shooters that are based in World War II. We've had, I don't know, 1 million of them, almost all of them. Somehow have tried to be there at some point, and yeah, I don't know. Make it wild. It seems like you're getting weather effects. You're getting all kinds of storm. Like somebody can control. I guess Storm from X-Men is in the game, so she can just fucking tear up the world if she wants.
It does seem like this Battlefield Portal thing though is like make your own like Battlefield experience though.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Well, and that was the Bad Company logo right there, which was pretty sick. And then which do that. Give us all the shit, dude. Who cares? Make Battlefield really fucking weird. Nobody's asking you to be like, keep the realism with the weapons feel and vehicle feels and stuff, but you can make it crazy. We still want to play a video game. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't need to be, because obviously like Battlefield has leaned more on the realism side, but it's like it's still so fantastical in what's happening that it's like just let's go really wild. Like take a page out of like the book of well, maybe not the same as like I was about to say Black Flag, but what is that other Modern Warfare game they made 4 of?
Call of Duty?
Yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops. That's the one I was thinking
Ops.
of.
Okay.
Yeah, you could take it like a little bit out of that structure of just like, yeah, maybe make like a crazy jet wingsuit or something, or make it. I don't know. Do something crazy because you can just do it. All
I
of us
like
would
the
wanna,
idea of doing like future soldiers versus Nazis because that kind of seems like what you're doing here with this Battlefield Portal thing.
Yeah, it seems bananas, and just let us do crazy shit. Because that's the thing is like Battlefield sort of loses its luster when it's like especially 1. Like I like Battlefield 1, but it was that thing of like, is it? I don't know. It's the same issue that Red Dead has, right? Where it's like you can only go so far with this history before the game dynamically changes, and it's like started off on this part where it's already crazy. Like I guess maybe it's not the same because Red Dead Online could do way more than it does, but it's that thing of like, well, if you're in World War I, we're not going up to, the Vietnam War. We're not working our way towards it. We're still with these weapons that we've used a million times. And I get it. The M1 Garand's a great feeling gun, but Jesus Christ, like let's get wild on a game.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be all this. There's no, and I get it. Like Battlefield has tried a bunch of different stuff over the years, so it's kind of weird that it's taken them this long to embrace the idea of like an open mod community or people having the tools to make crazy something. Yeah. Because it's never been like a super competitive game. It's never been like
no. I can't think anytime I play Battlefield, it's what the fuck just killed me, and then I uninstall it.
Yeah, I like Battlefield a lot, but I get it.
I do too. It's just like if you get into those games late in their life, the dudes playing those games are the dudes who are playing those games. Like
the ceiling goes it's too high. Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least with this one, that opens the door for like some more goofier shit and some weirder, like some CS surfing or some other shit where you can just do dumb stuff, which is what everybody wants to do in a game. Ultimately, is dumb stuff.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that. I'd like to see. I'd like to see an
really
infection
cool,
like style. Yeah, an infection style game mode like in Halo or something where.
Hey, world's your oyster. From the sound of it, you could just remake that Halo map and then, put boxes in front of the door so that they can't turn you into zombies or whatever. Not that we ever did that. But yeah, and then the last thing I guess I'll say is that they're announcing they're remaking the first Dead Space.
That guy from PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale.
The guy from PlayStation All Stars, yeah, that white guy.
Yeah.
He's gonna be Isaac Clarke is his name actually. I just remembered it, Isaac Clarke. But yeah, they're recreating the first, arguably the best Dead Space. I think 2 was really good also. 3 wasn't bad, but it could have been better. And then the 4th one was going to be fucking super cool, but they, I guess we'll never know because it never came out. But, they're redoing the first game, which is really good as far as survival horror goes. I actually was playing a little bit of this like 2 or 3 months ago just because I was like, oh yeah, Dead Space is awesome. I forgot about Dead Space. And then, played like a good 5 or 6 hours of it again. And I was like, yeah, this still holds up really well. It still looks really good.
I installed it a few weeks ago because it was on the EA Pro thing, and I still have that for some reason. So I was just like, might as well play some Dead Space. But now I'm like, maybe I should wait. Because it seems
I would wait.
Because the rumors around this thing have been like they're giving it the RE2 remake treatment where like, I don't think it's going to be dramatically different from the original like vision of the game. Not like Resident Evil 2's like original vision going into the remake there. But it does seem like fidelity, maybe some atmosphere, maybe they'll tweak a little bit of the story or like some of the action set pieces and stuff to like bring it more in line.
Well, the atmosphere is going to be the hardest thing for them to capture because it really does have like a super good one. Like pretty much throughout it, it's got this weird like. It feels like The Thing and Alien all at the same time, and there's this air of. loneliness and like this weird feeling of like the people that are still with you, maybe not even really people. Like it's just this weird, like everything about that game has this really thick like atmosphere to it. So if they will have their work cut out recreating that properly, but if they do it, this will be awesome because that game's. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited to see it. I hope they don't goof it. Especially because Dead Space is a franchise that should have gotten more than it did, and it's kind of wild it's taken this long to get a remaster of one of those games. But
I got excited about it, and then at the end of the trailer they show the Frostbite logo, and there was always those stories going around that like EA's like really pushing their internal studios to use Frostbite, even though like it's a very hard platform to like, or very hard to get the program for. I think maybe they've fixed a lot of those problems because I know other games have used Frostbite recently that haven't had a slew of issues. So maybe
I hope not, or I hope so. I mean, I guess I hope it's better. Because some of the game you can tell a Frostbite game, it feels different. Like it does. I mean, I guess all engines feel different. If you played enough video games, you sort of what you're looking at. Especially getting to play a lot of stuff on PC, I think you get more familiar with those engines than you do elsewhere.
But if you've played enough, when you see the Unity logo to like temper your expectations.
Yeah, you go. Well, we'll see. Maybe they really went for it on this one.
Yeah.
So
no RPG Maker, but
Hey. Well, that's when you see anything that's in like it's like a top down, looks like a SNES RPG. You go. I bet that was RPG Maker. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe not. Who knows? So yeah. Hopefully they can work the kinks out because I'd really like to see it. But it is a bit of a shame because you're like, hey man, the Unreal Engine's pretty good. Like you could just use the Unreal Engine. It's really good at what it does.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I also don't know what the original game was built on, which would be a real shit show if it was the Unreal Engine and they're like you have to use Frostbite. Like, but all the work is already. Like
there's a whole framework.
It's already right there. Actually, we can just pull it up. Are you sure? Okay. All right. Thanks. All right. I guess we'll just remake the whole fucking game.
Yeah.
So
that'd be really
we'll
cool.
See.
Sounds like an EA move.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope it's awesome though. I can't say too much else. But you should wait to play it. Because I think it. Have you've played it before? Yeah or no?
No, like I said, like a few weeks ago, I installed it. I got to the point where I played like the very beginning, and you get separated from the other two characters. I turned on the substation, and they got on the train, and then went, and then the train crashed. And so I'm going after them now, like seeing what happened. I guess is from what I remember. Pretty early on, like 2 or 3 hours into the game, I think.
I think you should play through that game again.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
I think I'm going to wait until the remaster comes out.
You might. I don't know, because I have weird feelings about that, because like, I've been playing the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I'm like, damn, I kind of want to know how much better this looks. Like, it is this weird thing of like...
compare and contrast.
Yeah, because it is sort of like... maybe on that one, because it's so drastically different, it makes more sense. But because I played like the first like maybe 5 or 10 hours of 7 a couple different times, but I'm tempted to just play up until the part that this game ends on, and then stopping and then playing through the remake and then going back and maybe finishing. I don't know, but there is this weird thing of like, oh man, this look because the music's like enhanced, like it's there, but it's better in a lot of ways. Or I mean, obviously if you have a super fondness for the original, you're gonna prefer that, I think maybe, but. There is this like it's kind of the way that every Zelda game has the same sort of songs, but they're all just remixed a little bit, and not the same sort of, but you know what I mean, like they're always just like tweaked.
I mean, every Final Fantasy has the theme song that's like do 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 do.
Yeah.
Like every one of them kind of has that score.
That's true too.
Callbacks, so.
But yeah. If you don't play it now, play it then for sure. Dead Space is really good.
Sure.
If that game, if the remaster is bad, you should play the original one, at least to see it, because it's worth seeing. All 3 of them are worth seeing.
I already got the first one downloaded. I might as well just go through it. I did see it's only like a 12, 15 hour.
It's not very
game.
long.
It's not very long. Yeah.
None of them are that long. You could get through all of them in a weekend probably if you really were like gunning for it.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. I still got Kingdom Hearts games to play, but we'll see. So we'll see. Jesus
Christ. I mean, so do I, but God, you don't see me getting excited about it. It's a burden.
It's a labor of love. It's not. It's a labor for sure.
Like I was looking, I was like, I could start Kingdom Hearts since I have 18 copies of that game now somehow. Or I was like, I could start Kingdom Hearts, or I could just play Dog's Life on the PS2. I could
just watch 9/11 footage on YouTube.
I could. See how excited
those people
I got about
had
that
darkness
instead?
in their hearts for sure. They could have used a little fucking. Never mind. I'm sorry.
I really wish you wouldn't have said that.
I'm sorry.
I really wish you wouldn't have said that.
To all my patriots out there, I'm sorry. I didn't.
Dude, I'm gonna make a motorcycle in honor of you. About the things that you just said. It's gonna be 2 Keyblades.
Speaking of from the stack, we're going full steam ahead. We have the Pimp My Ride out there. We got
Pimp My Ride's out there.
Da Vinci
the
Code.
Ongoing. We got Da Vinci Code. We got our ongoing coverage of Spy Hunter. We got, let's see, American Chopper went up yesterday, 2 days ago, depending upon when this comes up. Tuesday, we should have either Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or the B-movie game. I can't decide which one should go out first. Probably Charlie, because I think we reference it in B-movie. And, well, we'll let you see how those games are. I don't want to spoil this.
We're definitely gonna have to edit a chunk out of the Charlie episode. I think maybe
we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
There's a sick part of me that kind of, in the way that I like Mystery Science Theater, likes the fact that it's like, this is this experience. Like, this is what the game is offering. Yeah.
And I'm not worried about like people watching me play that game or you play that game and being like, oh, these people don't know how to play games. I don't give a fuck.
We've made very glaring, obvious mistakes multiple times. I can't care. Like, there's that's not why we're there.
Rewatching the Spy Hunter episode, I was like, oh, I totally missed that I was just supposed to walk like 2 feet to go down the fucking stairs. Yeah. I kept going like long way around, and then I was like, oh, now it's dawning on me. The hint in that game is always look for the little shiny thing, because that's going to tell you where to go.
Christian, I don't know if you played video games
you shoot the shiny
before.
thing. Yeah.
That's video games. That's actually
video games. And then we're recording tomorrow night. We're going to continue playing Spy Hunter. I think I want to see that Family Guy game.
Oh, you think you're already ready?
I think
you're already primed? Okay.
I think I'm ready for the Family Guy game.
I don't know what it is. I'm pretty tempted to see Sopranos, but maybe we'll save that for a little while.
Sopranos, I wanna play when we're a little deeper in, when we got it down. You know what I'm saying? Like right now we're still in the experimental, like figuring it out kind of phase of the thing.
Let's check out Scorpion King maybe. I want to see what that's.
I
want to see what's going on there.
Is it too much rock though? Should we wait until we're done with
too much
Spy
rock?
Hunter?
Hollywood doesn't think so, you idiot.
Well, no, but hey,
Hollywood's dude. They just turned that boy into a fucking camera. He doesn't even have to do anything anymore. They just put him in there and it's already recording.
Yeah, they talk about like they talk about how Lucasfilm digitally resurrected like some of their actors to be in Star Wars. I honestly think it's going to get to the point where like 20 years after The Rock's death and he's still starring in movies.
It's going to be Rock and Samuel L. Jackson and be in everything. He'll just sign his rights away and go, whatever. You got a movie, put me in it. I'll yell.
Just make sure I'm like beefier than everybody else on screen or whatever.
Yeah, make sure my punches are hitting the hardest sticks in the room. Yeah, I don't know. Well, there's a lot. Hey, I mean, there's a few options. We got maybe 5 or 6 games we could play. There's a couple over here.
Yeah, we're going to try to get through several. We'll see.
We might even try a good game.
Will we? I
I don't know.
I think it's in the B movie where I'm like, hey, are we ever gonna play a good game?
Yeah, it is, and I don't know. Maybe we will. I could always show you Might and Magic, that weird kind of Dark Souls game. I mean, there's some stuff.
Yeah.
Look,
I wish you had Klonoa
I guess what
too, because I have a fondness for that game. I love.
Yeah, dude. I wish I had $250 to just throw out a window, also, but I just don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love Mr. Mosquito, but I also would like, there's car payments, and for whatever reason, Mr. Mosquito costs all of one of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. There's some stuff. There's some stuff. There's definitely there's video games in this room.
Yeah.
I don't know if
there's
you've seen
hoes in this house. Is
yes.
what they said. No, they say whores.
I mean,
they didn't say hoes.
Yeah, they do.
They say whores in this house.
Matthew
That's a
McConaughey,
song
what do you think
called
about
WAP.
the word whore?
Huh. I don't know what that means. Anyway.
You do. But let's that's I guess, guys, that's the show this week. I'm gonna edit out all pussy jokes. And
all the PP jokes go bye-bye.
I'm gonna edit out all the PP jokes.
I will have a new article, I think, up tomorrow. So I gave up on doing the E3 thing because I just got in the way of myself, and E3 feels like a year ago, so I just don't feel passionate about writing about it. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a part 2, but it's just going to be the 5 games I'm most anticipating that I didn't cover in the first article that I
Sonic Colors.
Sonic Colors Remastered. Sonic Mania on Amazon Luna. Sonic Mania on the Steam Deck. Sonic Adventure 2 on the Steam Deck, and Sonic Adventure 1 on the Steam Deck.
Yeah,
I mean,
and then Kingdom Hearts for PS5, Xbox Series X.
Yeah,
remaster, 60 frames, 4K.
Yeah,
and then you got. I mean, what other games do you play? I guess that's it. I guess that's it.
And RimWorld Ideology came out. And I think I'm going to do a video series. I think I'm gonna play it and stream it and then edit it. That's what I want.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I saw they put an expansion out, but I again know nothing about that game other than the little bits you've told me. So I
know I could have spent 2 hours talking about it.
I was about to say, as soon as you said RimWorld, I was like, we're about to stop the show, right? I was like, this motherfucker knows we're about done, aren't we?
No, Ideology looks so good though. I'll probably talk about it next week when I actually start playing.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But yeah. Look out for that, I guess.
Hey, just look out. It's dangerous out there. Just look out.
Just be safe.
Just keep looking. Keep your eyes up.
Bill Cosby's out of prison. Just be safe out there.
That's a whole. I can't even. That's a whole nother discussion. Holy shit about that. But anyway, fuck.
Yeah, going out on a bummer. Bye, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, but fuck you.